Hey gamers, it's Grind This Game here, back with some Hydroneer 2.0. And this episode, I'm going to move away from the starting area and move over to a bigger area so we can set up a fully automated sorting system with conveyor belts. That's what I'm going to try to do this episode. And maybe forge a new drill or two if we can do it. I found this new magnet tool and I'm loving it. I had a whole entire mess here, as you can see, where a bunch of stuff ended up on the ground. So this magnet tool definitely helps you put stuff in buckets. So I'm going to do that a few times and sell the stuff to earn some money, because we're going to have to pay for all the new stuff. Now if you just hold the magnet ball over the bucket and drop it, only a little bit of the stuff goes in. But if you kind of take the ball and kind of push it down on the bucket, you get way more stuff in it, from what I've seen. So we're going to try to clean up the mess I made last episode and sell the stuff, because we got to buy the upgraded piping and a bunch of other stuff. Some dynamite, because we got to clear out an area. Maybe. We'll see. But let's see what we're going to get for this stuff. We'll take the card up to the jeweler. I have edited this episode because I had a bunch of false starts when I was kind of learning stuff. And I've chopped that stuff out just to leave kind of the stuff that worked, basically. And I'll try to tell you where I went wrong with some stuff. So what do we got here? How much? 903, not great, but we'll take it. You can kind of tell how valuable the bucket is by how much lag you get. Yeah, that one felt a little bit laggier. 2400. Pretty good. Now, I'll probably have to do this a few times off camera to build up enough cash to buy everything I want. But we've got money from before. Actually, this is in the future. This is in the future. I sold a bit more stuff, so 8,000. I think that was one more hours worth, maybe 30 minutes worth of our basic drill collecting stuff. Now I'm using the Creative Tools flying hat here thing, because I'm too lazy to drive around or walk around. This is the new area we're going to here. It's a lot bigger, but we have to buy it first. South Hope. For sale. How much is this thing? How much do we have? 6,600, I think it was. Yeah, we have just enough. So my plan here, let's just take a look first. It's a little bit lumpy. We got a little bit of a hill here. I'm going to build my sorter system over by the water, so I don't have to build a super long pipe. Here's some of the supplies we're going to buy. Now, I bought some dynamite. I blew up a little hole and I realized I'm not going to dig deep down in this episode. I know the drills work better when they're deeper, but I'm just going to do surface drilling to get the sorting thing going this episode first. And I wanted to try out forging another iron drill or two, so I do that in this episode. All the pipes are going to be cloutium though, the kind of upgraded pipe. A little bit more expensive, but worth it. Definitely worth it, because the pressure of these comes out at 250, I think. And the booster thing brings it back to full pressure. So definitely worthwhile to use these pipes instead, if you can afford it. Now I tried the dynamite out. It doesn't do a big enough explosion for what I want. I know there's nukes you can get, but they cost 16,000 each and I can't afford that, so I figured I would get the sorter up and let it run for a while to earn some cash. And I've just got stuck in the hole, so we'll use the unstuck. I'm glad they have that, or it would have been game over, I guess, because I don't know what to do. Here's the second round of selling. This is to sell, to pay for all the piping that we're gonna buy. Oh, this one's really laggy. Oh yeah, that's a good haul. Like I said, this was the second sold. It's late in the day. My mind's kind of mush. I think it was about 30 to 45 minutes of my basic system. Here we are. We got the truck. It's loaded up with all our goodies: our drill, our harvester, the basic versions. So we're dismantling the old starter area, and we're gonna start fresh new in this new area. Trucks are pretty fun to drive. I haven't ran out of water yet. Apparently they run on water. I guess like everything in this game. Here we are buying our supplies. At least the first round of supplies. Now we can't dig in this area right here, the light colored sand. So I gotta build a pipe over to the darker area. Next episode, I'll be using nukes to explode away a big giant area, dig a tunnel down to the bottom so we can use tier 2 drills, but that's gonna be next episode. I couldn't really afford to do that in this one without getting some money rolling in here. That little lump of dirt that I just put on the block, that's so our harvester will work. It's kind of weird that you have to do that versus just putting the harvester on the ground. Like, you'd think that would work. Maybe it does. Anyway, I wanted it raised. Conveyor belts were all brand new to me as well, so a little bit of learning to understand how they all work. Okay, the harvester's working. We got our first lump of dirt out of this new area. And we're gonna get the harvester set up with the new, I'm gonna call this level 2 piping. There's only iron and cloudium, but Cloudium? I don't know how you say it. Okay, let's see if this thing works. Yeah, we got some iron out of there, gold. Now they're small pieces because this is on the surface. Now the conveyors, they need piping underneath them. You can't even place them unless you have a pipe underneath. And I apologize for the dripping water sounds. We're going to try to plug those up with corks eventually, the ones that are open. This one I'm going to seal pretty soon here, so. Thank you for the suggestions in the comments. Lots of comments on these videos. It's been super useful. Learning lots of tips from you guys. Like when you go to place something that requires water, when you turn it so the pipe matches, the water dripping sound goes away, which is kind of a nice indicator. Because it's kind of hard to see the pipe opening sometimes. Now I'm going to move this valve because I didn't want to run all the way over to the ocean every time. Now I don't know if this is the best build site, but it seemed pretty big. And water's pretty close, so. Okay, so conveyor, this is kind of like a sorter. It diverts the thing that you select off to the side. Now I think they kind of only go in one direction, from what I could tell. So we got kind of a riser there. And the reason I did it up one was so that the sorted stuff could just fall into our smelters. Now these smelters are kind of the upgraded version. They do everything all in one. So you don't have to plop stuff into a pot and heat it up and then pour it manually. It just automatically pours it when you click the button. So we got iron coming in, smelting away. So we're going to set up 4 of these sorters, and then the 5th one, or there won't be a 5th one, everything else will be gems. And those will go into a special device that crushes little gems and merges them into big gems. So to get this set up, you kind of need to wait for... Oops, I just picked something up. You kind of have to wait for the thing you need to put on the sorter before you can start sorting. If that makes sense. So I had a piece of iron initially, so the iron was being sorted out. Then I got a piece of gold, so the gold's being sorted out, and then now we're going to put this crystal thing that lets us fuel our, I think they're called injectors. That'll be the 3rd thing we sort. And then we gotta wait a while to get some cloudium to sort that out. It took a few minutes before I could see a piece fall out of here, but... So almost there. Got 3 of the 5 things we want. This took a little bit longer to build. Like I said, it took me a while to figure all the things out that I wanted. We lost pressure. Turn that back on. Helps if we turn the drill on. Turn that back on. There we go. Let's see if the gold goes in. Yep. That went in the wrong thing, so we're gonna have to add some of that, I'm gonna call it fuel ore. It has a special name, but I have to clear that out. Because if you merge stuff in the melter, it's not good. There we go. We got gold in there. That's correct. Now the final sorter. I'll get that in there. And we got a piece of cloudium here. Cloutium. Yeah, it's cloutium, not cloudium. Cloutium. And it's going to be a while before we get another piece to see if it works, but I'm sure it'll work. Let's get the smelter under there. Now I could use funnels between the conveyor sorter thingies and the smelters, but it doesn't seem to be necessary. They just drop in there nicely. Now these things, they clean your water. I added 5 of them. I think you can add more actually. It says max 10. I don't know if it means... Yeah, I think the quality can only go up by 10, so that's why I added 5 of them.
Huh?
Maybe you can add more. I'm not 100% sure. But I noticed with the 5 of those water cleaners, I didn't need to repair my harvester or drill anymore. They stayed at 100% forever. But I did have to repair the water cleaners, so kind of pushes the repair job downstream or upstream, closer to the source. And I added these gauges here to see kind of what the quality of the water was before and after. But with that injector thing, we got it back up to almost full max, 245. The max is 250, so that's good enough for me. Set up some tool racks, kind of get things organized. And now I'm going to lock down these things. One thing I think the game should do, this is a suggestion to the developer, who probably will never see this video, but I think the default should be that everything is locked down, and then you use a hammer if you want to pick things up, because generally you're 99% of the stuff you put down, you pretty much want it to stay down. I know in Rust it's like that. If you put a workbench down, to pick it up, you pick up a hammer and then you pick up the workbench. Otherwise, it's not getting picked up. So the thing, this little thing on the conveyor is a gem cutter. It's the version that goes on the conveyor belt. And then the gem compressor thing, it kind of only works in one way because the handle kind of blocks the input. So this is the way I set it up. And I think I used a right sorter to get the gems pushed over. So they drop down and then they just get pushed into the gem smusher. That's its official name, the gem smusher. You get some pretty big honking gems out of this thing once it's fully ramped up. Let's take a peek inside. Oh, they're getting pretty big. One tip for the scale, you don't have to actually plop the things on the scale. You can kind of hover over the scale and you can see the readout. It's a pretty handy tip. Something I just kind of learned, not from anyone else, but just through experience like that. Before I plopped it down, it was showing me what I needed. Now that's a pretty big iron bar, 1800. But I'm going to save my iron. Some of you recommended I save my iron for the iron harvester and drills that I can make. Because you only get one to start. You have to build the rest. Now that magnifying glass tool lets you see the quality or durability, I guess, of the cleaners and machines and stuff. Pretty handy. That's kind of a bird's eye view of the thing working. We've got our 4 different liquids there, which we can pour at any time to get bars. And I noticed that the gold bars, if you sell them directly, you get a certain amount, but if you turn them into necklaces, I think you get a 20% profit boost. And likewise for the iron, if you turn the iron into swords, you get a 30% boost. So all you really have to do is, you know, turn it into ingots and then mash them together here with the hammer. Now for the necklace, I needed three of these, and I had difficulty getting them to stack. Now I know you can hold E now to place them down, but that didn't really help me much. I think the way to go is to probably try to drop them exactly on top of each other and then put the gem on top of that, maybe. I ended up using the marshmallow creative tool, this thing, that lets you do more precise placements. Some of you may call this cheating, but you know what? I just play the game to enjoy it, so this tool worked really, really well. I think that's the way it should be, right? It should be easy to place stuff, not difficult. And I don't know why I put that back in there. Maybe because I was doing some calculations to see how much the ingots were worth versus what the necklace was worth, and I think I forgot to measure something, so that's probably why I'm plopping them back in there. Now there's some risks with using this marshmallow on a stick, as you'll see later. Be warned. Okay, so we're gonna saw the ingot into 4, I think, and then take 3 of the pieces. Or something like that. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Making a mess as usual. Okay, here's the hovering readout. Oh, I dropped it anyway. 1251. Oh, it only needs 2. That's why I'm doing it like that. Anyway, here we go. Here we go. And I pick up the wrong thing. 'Cause I haven't locked everything down. What's this thing worth? This is where I discovered that you get a 20... I think it's a 20% profit increase. And I don't really have to drop it, but we'll drop it anyway. 3,200, that's pretty good profit. Here's a dagger. I want to see what a dagger did. I think it was a 20% boost. I can't remember for sure. But the knife, or the sword, which takes 3 iron ingots, this was a 30% profit boost. This is where I learn the risks of the marshmallow tool. Yeah, that's worth 1900. That's pretty good. Make it a mess here. Comedy of errors. But I don't have to drop it. I can see the readout there if you position yourself the right way. The marshmallow tool didn't help here at all. So I can see the amount there anyway, so no need to drop it. But I think I just wanted to see if I could do it. And there goes my sword, my 40 minutes of iron ingot smelting and frustration. The marshmallow tool placed it into the ground. Now I did try to dig it out and I couldn't find it. I don't know where it went. And then I ended up making another sword later. So we're gonna go sell what we got here. It's not much, but we need the cash. My cart's in the way. Who left this cart here? Come on. It's still in the way. We'll put it over, I don't know, over here. By the fancy furniture. Which we'll use someday. We're gonna build a building at some point. I can't remember if this is the starter truck or the upgraded one that I bought. The upgraded one's a little bit faster, I think. Okay, what's this stuff worth? A big, massive sword here. Not much. That was actually kind of the remake. This is the dagger, I think. Is this a dagger I see before me? Actually, those both look like swords. Yeah, they're both swords. I guess I made some more swords.
Huh?
And the dagger... For some reason, the swords stand on end, but the dagger won't. So I ended up just selling it separately here. I don't know, this game's a little bit weird. And what's this necklace? I think I already know what it's worth. Oh, yeah, big coinage. Like, what's that duck? Old cartoon, he's got a bunch of money, I can't remember. I tried out fishing really briefly. I might do a separate video on fishing. I just wanted to see what the initial fish were worth. And it turns out they're not worth very much. I did get a good tip about kind of starting fresh though, and that was to set up a bucket kind of below where your fishing pole is, and then everything just drops into the bucket. If you need some money like really early on, it might be a decent way to go. It takes a while though. And it's not automated, you have to actually collect stuff. I guess early on, brushing dirt in a bucket is also not automated, so... Okay. What's this thing worth? You'd think I would have locked stuff down by now, but nope. I think it's worth, I can see it kind of there. Trying to get it in view at the same time. Oh, 12. Not very big profit there. And there's also this thing. Catches fish automatically, but the fish are not great. And you have to manually collect them. I don't know. I think this one's a lemon. I would probably use this. It was also pretty hard to see the fish inside of it. There is a fish in there. So super slow and manual to fish that way. I like to try everything though in the game. Now we are going to take the iron bar. I let some time go by here to smelt some more iron. We are going to take this iron to... Iron skill, is that the name of it? It's in the snowy area. It's where the forge is. In fact, if you're a World of Warcraft player, it looks like Ironforge in many ways. We'll fly over there and try the forge out. Now, I did visit here before without any stuff. I just came over and to get an idea of how this thing would work. And it looks like we need to buy kind of like blueprints, and then you use the blueprints at the forge to make what you want.
Huh?
I tried to take my hat with me, but I ended up just leaving it. No sense flying in here anyway. It's pretty easy to walk around. There's an elevator that takes you down. And then there's a store down here, which is pretty handy. There's the store where you can buy pretty much everything there, except for logic stuff, I think. But maybe you can. You can buy some logic stuff like the nuclear bomb. So here's the forge. Pretty awesome looking. And then down at the very bottom, there's a mine that you can buy. It's like a horizontal mine instead of vertical, so you kind of dig into the mountainside to get to the higher tiers versus digging down, which maybe is easier. I might end up relocating here. I don't think there's a place to sell your wares here though, so that's kind of a downside. So yeah, this place sells conveyors and some miscellaneous goods, and then all this stuff. These are the blueprints, designs. They're pretty cheap, so I ended up buying just every single one. And I leave them over by the forge in case I want to use them in the future. We'll use a pallet, it'll be easier to move this stuff around. Now when you move around with the pallet, you move pretty slow, but at least you can carry stuff. Kind of like the cart, but slower. And we brought enough cash to buy each blueprint, so that's good. I think we'll only forge the iron harvester though. Probably do 2 of them. And then next episode we'll dig a big giant hole with nuclear bombs and set up Cloutium or tier 2 harvesters and drills. But for now we'll just do the blueprint. You can see the bars. It says it needs 300 iron bars and 100 Cloutium bars, or 100 weight, 100 pounds maybe, grams. I don't know what the unit of measurement is, but 100 mass of Cloutium, which is a lot. Like, it takes a while to get that much. Got some other cool things in here, safes and a plinth to show off your big gems stuff, big necklaces and rings. The way I set up my sorter, I think the easiest thing is probably just to make like 1 necklace and 1 giant sword, maybe once every hour or 2, and then just sell that for massive profit. I've seen some people set up automated smelters to churn out like smaller bars. I don't see the point in that. This grate, you can fall through it, so be careful. Here's kind of the instructions. So you put down the blueprint, chuck in the bar, pull the handle, and Bob's your uncle. So we are going to do the iron harvester first. That just requires an iron bar that has 300 weight mass. and you go plop it in the bucket here. Pull the handle and watch the cool animation. Or hot animation. Steaming hot. Molten hot. And don't fall through the hole. Now this thing teleports your stuff up top. Pretty handy. We don't have a truck up there, but I'll drive the truck over later so we can pick this thing up. Poof, it's gone. Now, see the excess iron. If you put in too much iron, the excess drops out to the side there. So we're going to take the excess and put it back in and make another harvester. I think I only had enough iron for 2, so I meant 2. And you get many drills for 1 harvester, I think, so. Now there's a little shop over here, just across the way, that sells stone building supplies, which is pretty cool. Now the stone floors might actually be a better way versus putting down foundation blocks, concrete blocks, because I think they're wider. Now, did I bring the truck back? I can't remember. Or did I stick it on the pallet? I think I might have just put it on the pallet. And then flew the pallet back. Yeah, I did. Yeah, we'll just fly back. Why drive when you can fly, right? Now I don't think I'm in creative mode now, but I used creative mode to make this flying hat, the duplication wand, because sometimes I can't be bothered to run back to the shop to buy one pipe if I need it. I'd rather just duplicate it. It's cheating for sure, but money's pretty easy to come by once you get things set up, so I'd rather duplicate the pipe and delete the money than run all the way over. Because the fun part of this game, in my mind, is to build these systems. It's not to run between the store and the pit. I'll do it a few times to experience it, but after that, I'd rather just have fun. Now the gravity thing in this game is a little bit weird. I took that off and it just flipped out, and I drop it here and it still flips out. So what we're setting up here is the second harvester. I wanted to have a kind of a chain of them feeding materials in. We'll cork that noisy pipe. So conveyors will load into the harvester from kind of a chain of them. So I could add more of them. I only add 2 on this side just to try to prove it out and get the conveyor belt ready for next episode, where I'll be feeding in tier 2 dirt from the deepest level possible. It was pretty fun using nukes to blow up the giant hole. So that's the next episode. If you're not yet a subscriber, please subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, hit the notification bells, because a lot of you people have said that you're not getting notifications on my videos. Probably because I don't post as much anymore. Or the YouTube algorithm is just being naughty and not very nice to me. And if you enjoy the video, hit that thumbs up. I think that helps people discover the video as well. Okay, so we're going to send dirt up on this side into the harvester. Now you can use the corner conveyors, or I found you can just use straight ones at 90-degree angles like this. The only downside to this is that the dirt ends up kind of in the corner, but then there's a centering tool that lets you fix that. Okay, here we got Harvester 2 online. Yeah, see how it's way over to the far left? But it still works. But there's this centering thing that I end up using just to get everything centered. It looks a little bit neater. So now we kind of got our conveyor input line, which we'll use next episode, like I said. And we can chain as many harvesters here as we want. But that'll be it for the iron harvesters. And I leave them online because I want to compare the dirt sizes that come out. So that's kind of an overview of the sorting system. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.